I didn't show my emotion, but a part of me cringed to hear him talk of the deaths. And I questioned myself, do I really want to take on another job that includes such sorrow? When things go badly, when our mothers or babies die, a wild sadness comes over me and feeling I can't shake for days. But this job will be different. Here I'll be taking the steps to fight death. He dismissed me then, and I left the office charged with a sense of awe at the job, at the man who entrusted it to me. He holds tight his mustachioed face, his moody, watchful eyes close to me. He has a darkness about him, no doubt, from the witnessing so much illness, but beneath that seems to lie a great caring. When I arrived home, I told Marm about our meeting. She immediately objected to the work hours and the travel. I could see it striking her, the turn of her mouth changing, the pinch surfacing on her brow. Don't you have to be in school at 8 in the morning, she asked. When I told Marm that I'd promised to meet Mr. Soper, she said, Prudence, the rules of our school state that you may take an afternoon position. You cannot be there in the morning. You must tell him that. She folded her arms. And I don't like you going in a motor carriage with a stranger, a grown man. I felt the job slipping away from me at Marm's protest. I saw the reason for her doubts. But I need the job, so I argued with her. If I were a boy... You are not a boy. You're a girl and in the last year of school, and this is not what we agreed on. Marm raised her voice. I don't hear her shout often, and never at me. But I want this job more, much more than school, I cried. Marm lowered her eyelids at me. She has worked for years to maintain my standing at the school. She tends to expectant mothers for months, only to collect a small sum at the birthing session. Then every fall and spring, she has to pay for my school clothes, for my boots that I wear, money for books and pencils and paper, and she never complains. She thinks it's worth it, that it's a finer school than any of the free schools, that it will lead me to a better job than hers one day. But I pressed on. I didn't learn anything, Marm. I just bookkeeping and French and how to order the household servants. There's no work for girls in the sciences, she insisted. She struck the table with the flat of her hand and said, You absolutely cannot take the job, and I will not allow it, Prudence. I burst out, If I were a boy like Benny, you'd let me take it. I saw her suck in her breath as if I'd hit her. Marm, I cried, Marm, please. I was sorry I'd brought up Benny, but I had to make her understand. She stared at me, her lips pressed so hard together that they turned white. I softened my voice. Benny is the reason I want the job, Marm. I need to know why he died. I need to understand. Marm stood so still that I was afraid she had stopped breathing. I asked if we could talk to Mrs. Browning. Perhaps we could convince her to allow me to finish lessons on my own time, to remain in school. It was such a rare chance. I brought up Jacob Reese and all the good things that the Department of Health and Sanitation had done for the city, and I clutched my hands together and I waited. Marm said finally, We'll go see Mrs. Browning privately and hear what she says. But you must listen to her verdict. If she does not agree, you must stay in school. I hugged my own waist and held in my reply. Marm turned away from me and started supper, and we spoke no more of it. We have a meeting with Mrs. Browning this evening in her parlor. I can't help it. I feel angry at Marm. She was the one who taught me about the body and illness. She encouraged me to use my brain. She showed me how to pry into scientific matters, to be curious always. Now she wants me to be a bookkeeper? Why? Most offices hire girls as typists the same way that they would buy a vase for flowers. Doesn't Marm want me to be smarter than that? My interviewer goes that one step further. He asked me to get my brain involved. It is unusual, I agree, but its very strangeness is what makes it so special. I feel as if Marm has dropped me from a tall tower, as if she is no longer beside me. I can't find a foothold as to what is right. Take the job and possibly have to leave school, or not take the job and be miserable for the rest of my life. I wish I didn't have to choose between work and school.